Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Ahmed Nabli. I'm one of the PMs on Azure App Service team, and I mainly work on web app for containers or app service on Linux, as that's the umbrella product. Today I'll talk about some tips and tricks, how to build your containers to run on web app for containers. So, how many actually have used app service? Cool. So, how many knows what is a container? Great. So let's assume that your app or your container is a car. So you can go IaaS, basically you buy your car, you maintain it, you go do maintenance every day. You can do PaaS, you can go rent a car, you just use it when you need it, and basically you return it. Or you do a SaaS, basically like an Uber or a taxi. So app service, we think about it like renting a car. You come, you rent a VM from us, you only think about your app or your container, and you deploy it, and we manage it. We make sure that the underlying infrastructure is working properly, all the security updates and everything. So early this month, we actually announced GA of App Service on Linux, which contains web apps, which has a number of built-in stacks like PHP and so on, and web app for containers where you can bring your own custom container. So today I'll basically talk about web app for containers. Again, with web app, when we wrote it, we have like the traditional web apps, and we wrote that as the runtime so that we can have the underlying infrastructure Linux. Right now we only have Node, PHP, Ruby, and .NET Core, but more runtime stacks will follow soon. The other thing is web app for containers, which you bring your own container. So why would you containerize your app? First, if you're using Node, we already give you Node built-in images, but if you want extra dependencies, like for example, image magic in Node.js, we don't have that in our built-in images. You can go fork our image, add whatever you want, use that as a custom container, and then basically deploy it back to us. You can develop and test locally. Everything on your machine, make sure that your app is working, and then you deploy it to web app for containers. The third thing is, if the platform doesn't give you the stack that you want, like for example, if you want .NET Core 2.0, although we're bringing it soon, or Go, or Python, you can go do your own container and bring your app to the platform quickly and easily. The third thing is, because we give you the built-in containers, we try to install as much as possible on that to cater to the wide range of developers. But it may not have all, it most probably will have all the things that you want, but it will have also much more things than what you need. So when you do your own custom container, you can actually have a leaner container. You can remove the dependencies that you don't need, and basically have a smaller container which starts faster. So what's our recipe to going to production with containers? Do everything in a slot. Create a slot, do all your changes in a slot. When you're ready to go to production, swap the slot, the staging slot, to your production slot. And then from there, you can configure auto-scale to basically manage your scaling, to be able to react to spikes of traffic and so on. So, web app for containers, there's some things that we would like you to consider when you deploy to web app for containers. First of all, you can add SSH support to your container. So you can actually go and debug your container from the portal, from a browser, through an SSH session into your container app, into your app container, and you exactly know what's happening in your container. The second thing is, we give you the ability to disable the platform storage. So if you don't want the platform storage, we can basically don't mount it to your container, and that means that whenever we recycle the storage file servers, your application doesn't recycle. So that's better uptime. Do everything in the container build time. So put as much dependencies, as much requirements, as much packages in your Docker file. That means that your container will start up faster. You don't need to implement SSL. the platform will actually manage that for you. If you configure SSL certificates, our front ends will make sure to terminate that at that time. You don't need to implement SSL. If your container exposes more than one port, you need to tell us which port to basically send that traffic to. But again, if you're doing SSH, you need to expose 2222, and whatever other port will just use that. So that said, well, I'll try and create a container and do all what I did, all what I said, in less than 10 minutes. So I have a simple Python container. So I start from Python 3.6. I have a bunch of startup files. I install SSH. And basically, I have an internal requirements that literally only has Flask. I expose 2222 for SSH and 5000 for the app. I copy the app, and then basically I go and execute init container. Init container is basically, we start SSH server, and we go to the app folder and just install if there's any requirements.txt, if the developer, the Python developer added, and start main.py. Main.py is a very simple one. Right now it just returns a text. So all I need to do is I build it. So Docker build. Actually, let me increase the font. So I'll do a Docker build. I'll tag it with my own tag. Basically, I already did that before, so this time it's much faster. Yep. And I'll push it to my Docker Hub. So it's so that there's only one layer that changed, and it basically added that. So if I go to Docker Hub, this is my tag, and I just updated it seconds ago. So let's actually create a web app for container. So I start AZ web app, and then I'll create it. I'll give it a name. I already created an app service plan. And I already have a resource group. And I'll just tell it to bring the image from my Docker Hub account. So basically, I'm here using CLI, Azure CLI, and all our web app for container commands are on Azure CLI. So basically, right now, I just finished that. I can go and try it. Yep. So basically, with the first hit to the site, the platform will go download the image from Docker Hub and start the container. While this is happening, I actually can go and create a slot for this site. So it's under deployment. So slot, create, again, -n. I'll call it stage, and again, just resource group. So basically, the platform here, what will do, it will do a copy of my app and run it on the same VM. It will have exactly the same image, and then I can go, it will have its own publishing profile, it have its own publishing credentials, and I can go and work on that slot while my production is still unaffected or not changed. So this is slightly taking more time. Again, while the container is being downloaded, what I can do is I can enable CI/CD for my staging environment. So I can do that using web app, deployment, container, and then I'm basically configure this one, -n, And I'll get the staging slot. -E true. That basically will enable an app setting to enable the CI/CD, and it will give me back the URI for the Docker Hub to put basically the webhook URI. Here we go. So basically, this is my main app. Again, this is my staging app. Both of them are exactly the same. If I go to Docker Hub to webhooks and just add a webhook, basically right now, if I create a new container, push it to Docker Hub, with that push, Docker Hub will go do a get at that URL, webhook URL, and that will signal to the platform to pull the new image. So let's actually go and make a new image. So all what I'm going to do is I'll change this and I'll make it render a simple HTML file. Okay, and I'll build again. And then I'll push my, didn't build. Okay, let's just change the text. Okay, and then I'll push it again. Basically, it's so that there's a change, and I can see from here that there's a new webhook request. So if I refresh my staging environment, here we go. Actually, that's the first one. So I was able to change my staging environment. What I can do right now is basically, I want cat videos or cat pictures, because that's what all the web is. And then basically, I'll move that to my production environment. So I can do swap. Actually, let me go to my cheat sheet here. So deployment, slot swap, and I'll swap my staging environment to the production one. So what's happening here is the platform goes and changes the DNS mapping for the staging and the production and basically flip them. So if your staging environment, staging slot is already warmed up, you will have that swap and you move to a new production image or production code without any downtime and without even any cold starts. So if that works, come on. Okay, while this is happening, what we can do is we can actually go to Kudu. Kudu is our SCM, source control management website, where you can actually go and look at the file system. You can do SSH into your container, and you can also do more things like it handles all the GitHub integrations, Docker, WordPress, Dropbox, Bitbucket, and so on. So I'm here actually in the staging one. I can go to SSH, and here I'm literally SSHing into my app container. So I can do top to see that Python is running and Bash is running, and I can go to the app and actually see that this is my app. I can even do small changes from there if I want. And let's see if that finished. That actually finished. So if I change this, it actually changed because like I changed the HTML, the Python file. So going back here, oops. So for App Service, we have a number of sessions. Today at 10:45 in S331, Sunita and James will have a better, more in-depth overview of web app for containers, and they will even have more cooler demos. Don't think they will have cats, but it's cool. There's also other demos, how to diagnose your app service, also how to do command line, manage your app service resources using command line, also number of business, how to configure your app service to work with your VNet, and so on. So how to actually find resources and documentation. So we have an FAQ on the web, aka.ms Linux-FAQ. All our docs is at /webapp-linux, and all our Docker images and containers are actually publicly available at linux-github. You can go use them, you can fork them, you can do whatever you want. You can also go and try a web app for containers without a credit card right now. Just go to try-containers. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Okay.